What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Bipolar Gamers there. Today's video is going to be talking about The Last of Us 2 and Joel specifically and why he deserved what he had coming to him. I'm not going to spoil this for anybody at the beginning, but if you don't know what happened to Joel, I would recommend clicking off the video where you will get a bunch of heavy spoilers. But today's video will be covering what happened to Joel and a bunch of other proof of why Joel wasn't that good of a person and why he got what he deserved and the reasoning behind Abby doing the Joel in one scene, and pretty much it's 100% proof that Joel was a bad person and he really done more wrong than good. But getting over to the first clip, this will be from the first game, The Last of Us Remastered, the scene in Pittsburgh where Ellie and Joel get ambushed, and I'll just let you hear what gets said in here.
How did you know
Know what?
about the ambush?
I've been on both sides.
So, there a lot of innocent people? Put that as a yes.
As you guys could see in that scene right there, Joel was asked a series of questions by Ellie, like, how did you know that happened? And he said he's been on both sides. And Ellie asked if he's killed innocent people. And he was like he didn't want to ask that question. And he had nothing to say when she said, so you've killed innocent people. That proves that Joel used to be a hunter where he has killed innocent people just to get supplies and stuff like that so he could keep living his life. That's just a little bit of a bad karma that's came upon him. More scenes coming up to where Ellie was in her surgery and what Joel done to the doctor here, which later in the video you'll find out who the doctor was if you don't know already and why this came back to drastically haunt him.
Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing in here? I won't let you take her. Don't come any closer. I mean it.
No! Fucking animal!
Carrie, shut the hell up.
Please, I don't want to die. Oh, God.
Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you. Oh, shit.
As you can see in that, Joel had already killed a bunch of fireflies. He busted through that door in there to save Ellie, and the doctor's trying to protect her because Ellie was developed like a immunity to the virus. And basically, Ellie's wife would have meant the savior of millions and millions of lives and a vaccine that could have probably made almost everybody on the planet immune and gave a chance in this apocalypse of making the human race go extinct. But no, Joel basically just walked up to the doctor and just literally just stabbed him in the throat. But it gets even worse than this coming over to the Firefly scene, which adds even more karma and more innocent wives on top of the piles of bodies that he's done racked up over his years into the apocalypse.
What the hell am I wearing?
Just take it easy. Drugs are still wearing off.
What happened?
We found the fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done them a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure. I'm taking us home. I'm sorry.
Wait! Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
You can see Ellie wakes up from her surgery. Joel completely watched her, saying basically like she didn't mean anything. She was one of the many they gave up looking for a cure, and that ended up hurt Ellie really bad later on to the Last of Us 2 because she felt like she had a meaning and stuff, but she was immune and the cure to humanity and stuff, and like it tears her apart. But all these people has had to die, and she feels like it's her fault because she wasn't able to provide the cure and stuff because Joel completely lied and just selflessly took her out and murdered all these people. And he even murders the Firefly leader on top of that, Marlene, which all she was doing was trying to get Ellie back. And she begged for her life, and Joel just shot her in the head right there. And his excuse for it was, you just keep looking for her, he'd keep coming for her, like somebody's trying to save humanity, and he just kills her there, not to mention the over 120 people. But let's move on to the doctor's backstory, trying to save Ellie. And his story is pretty emotional, and he did indeed have a family, and he literally died doing something to try to save humanity, and he didn't want to take Ellie's life to get the cure. Let's watch these clips here, and you'll see what I mean.
It's intertwined with the brain. There's no other option.
There has to be some other way.
There's no way to remove the specimen without destroying the host.
The host. She's a child, not some petri dish.
You think I don't... I'm aware of the situation.
And you're okay with killing her?
No, I'm okay with developing a vaccine that'll help save millions of lives. How many Fireflies have died for less?
That was their choice. Are you asking me? Or are you telling me this is how it's gonna be?
I am begging you to buy in.
And what if this was Abby?
Look, everything that we've been fighting for, all the sacrifices, all of the horrific... all of that is justified with this one act.
If this was your daughter, what would you do?
Abby,
I brought you some dinner.
thank you, sweetheart. Look, Marlene.
Do it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go tell Joel.
Why?
He traveled across the country with her. He has a right to know. Good luck with your surgery.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd want you to do the surgery.
Is he still in the fucking building? Abby.
No!
Abby, don't look.
Dad! Dad! No! No!
Okay, as you guys could see in that scene right there, Jerry, the doctor that Joel murdered, which was Abby's dad, coincidentally, Jerry tried every single way to find a way to get the vaccine without having to cut out Ellie's brain, but that's the only way it's going to be. Jerry really didn't want to do that. He was over here crying and stuff. Marlene was very hesitant on it as well. And Jerry eventually talked Marlene into doing it, and everybody was on board with it. But Joel, even though they didn't want to do it, they know that was only hope for humanity because the chance of more immune people is impossible. Events play up the same there, and Jerry dies by Joel, which Jerry was like basically the only surgeon slash scientist that could have even developed a vaccine. And not to mention how many more wives died because they couldn't get surgery and stuff. And Joe brutally murders him. And Abby walks into her dad laying in a pool of blood, knowing that he was literally just killed and all the fireflies, everything she ever believed in and supported was literally just taken from her in that moment. And it really messed her up, pretty much knowing like he died doing something he didn't want to do, trying to save and help people. And her dad was a real good person. But Joel took every bit of that away from her. And all this frustration, this PTSD, and all this emotional scenes left up to these years of revenge to this scene that you're about to see right here. So let's just enjoy this Joel in one of him getting what he deserved, guys.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No! No!
Fucking hell, pendejo.
And just like that, guys, that's what all that leads up to. Joel's bad karma, his past, all of his path of destruction. They're taking of innocent wives and stripping a girl of everything she had. You never want to mess with somebody that has nothing to lose. They're the most dangerous person in the world. I do think that the death scene should have happened later on in the game. And honestly, I do believe he really did deserve that because of all of the stuff he's done in his past and stuff. This stuff in the video is just a little bit of it. And Abby finally did get her revenge. But see, it didn't seem like she was satisfied with her revenge. And I believe the reason is because Joel always pretty much says to her, let's go ahead and get this over with. Go ahead and say your petty speech and let's go ahead and get this over with. I believe that's what he said. He only asked her name, didn't even ask why she's doing this or anything like that. And he just waited there and just took it like a man. He wanted to die quick and he didn't want to give her the satisfaction of enjoying the revenge she had. And he went out like a real man, like he is, honestly. But that's going to sum up today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, with notifications on, all that good stuff. And comment down below your opinions on the situation. And if you think Joel deserved that, and if you think he didn't deserve that, tell me why. And do you think the death scene should have happened later in the game? Because I feel like this is a shitty way they went with the game, honestly. But Joel really did deserve what happened to him. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I'll be seeing everybody in the next video. So peace out.